Okay. At this point, we need to actually take this data, all this math, all this statistics, and do something with it, right? So at this point, you should know how to get the mean, the variance, the count, the standard deviation, the standard error of the mean, and the 95% confidence interval. That's what we want to do. So let's take this data and let's make an actual image so we can visualize our data. So we're going to start by clicking right here. We're going to insert a chart. And this is what we get. We get a blank chart. We don't know what's in it, what's going to go on it. So we need to set everything up, and that's where we're going to be here with our chart editor. We have a setup and we have customize. So we need to pick what type of chart we want. Do we want a column? Do we want a bar chart? Column is really just what we call a bar graph, right? And there's pie charts, there's scatter plots, there's all kinds of cool charts here, but you really are just going to be working with line, bar, or scatter, to be honest. So let's start with column. Let's insert that. Okay, so what we need to do first is let's get some data in there. So those are the series. So I'm going to do the dark data first. All right, there's our dark data. I'm going to add another series, and I'm going to do our light data. Okay, so right here, I have my dark data as blue and my light data as red. So I need to get that onto my legend because I'm going to forget that. And so it's already up here. You just need to double click on it. So I'm going to double click on this so I don't forget. So my blue is dark. I'm going to put millimeters. Okay. And my red is light. And I'm going to put millimeters. That's going to help me so that even I don't get confused. Okay. So we need to come back over here to set up so we're not done yet, right? We're kind of getting there. We're kind of getting there. All right, so what am I going to have on the x-axis? What are these things? What are these things that I'm actually looking at? Well, these are my Petri dishes. So I need to select my data range. And I'm going to select OK. There you go. I got my Petri dishes that I've tested. Next, what about everything else? The y-axis, the title? Well, we're going to do that over here in customization. So we're going to click customize. And we're going to start from the top. Chart style. Do you want to change the background color, the font, the border color? You can even make your graph 3D if you like. I like it, so I'm going to leave it like that, right? Just for fun. Well, maximize this really fills it in there. We don't want to do maximize. Okay, chart, access, titles. Let's start with the title. So we click on chart title. Remember, your title needs to be specific. So this looks like it's bacterial growth. So I'm going to put bacteria growth in dark and light conditions. And I'm going to go ahead. No, I'm just going to leave that there. Okay. And I can use italics. I can make it bold. I can do a lot of things. Next, I need a chart subtitle. Well, you don't need one, but it's an option. And this is one I had done previously. So I'm going to go ahead and get it selected. Let me fix some of these capitalizations. So a chart subtitle is just that. It's a subtitle to help you clarify some information. So maybe these are the measurements of Petri dishes from Edinburgh, Texas, or Site A, or specific population from the females, from the males, whatever it may be. You don't need a chart subtitle, but you can have one. Okay, our axis, our horizontal axis, we need a title for that. So we're just going to name these Petri dishes. Awesome. Our vertical, I think I already have one there. Measurement of bacteria growth in millimeters. I include the measurement. This is looking like a really good bar graph. Series, well, this is something we need to look at. We're going to go to series, and I need to look at apply anything to the all series to all data or individual ones. I'm going to start with dark. And like I said, you can change some of these things if you like. I don't want to. Error bars. This is where I want to focus error bars. I'm going to click on that, and you have some choices of none, constant, percent, and standard deviation. This is where you're going to put in the 95% confidence interval. And you do that by putting constant, delete, and for dark, it was 2.12. Whoops, 2.112. There we go. Okay, work with me. I'm just going to do 2.2 then. I guess it only does it so long. Okay. So these error bars, which I can make this bigger for you to see, these error bars show that our data falls within this error. But the error, we didn't just make it up. It came from a statistical analysis. In this case, the 95% confidence interval. I also like clicking data tables because it will give me the actual value of what we have for each individual. So I think that's very informative. I now need to go to my light. I'm going to do error bars. I'm going to put constant, and I'm going to put 2. Why am I messing this up? 2.0. Okay, that's my constant. And then I'm going to put data labels as well. So now look at our chart. It's a very detailed chart. It gives a lot of information. And you can change a lot of the error bar not font size, like the line thickness. You can do all that there. Legend. Well, where do you want to put the legend? Do you want it to be at the top, inside? Do you want to put it on the right side? Do you want to put it at the bottom? I really like for it to either be at the bottom or inside, because then that means there's a lot of surface area. When I put it to the right, it kind of squeezes the graph a little bit there. You can do none, but I don't like that. I like to do inside or at the bottom. I think inside is best. I think that's the best place to put it, but it's your chart. You put it wherever you want. The horizontal axis, you can change some of the information there. You can even do angles or at slants if you want. Vertical axis, there's a couple of things you can change there too. You can change it into a logarithmic scale, maximum and minimum, if you like. Grid lines on the horizontal axis, do you want major ticks? On the vertical axis, do you want minor grid lines, major ticks, minor ticks? Whatever you think is best. It's your chart. But here we go, we got it. Let me make it nice and big. You now have a very good, clear to understand chart. We can look at it and we can see visualization. So just by looking at it, I can see that the light conditions has more bacterial growth, just by looking at it. And the dark conditions have less, right? So that's why we take these numbers, the data, and we make graphs. So that way we can visualize the data. It's a lot easier for us to visualize the data. So what you can do with this is you can right click it, you can edit it, delete it, download it as an image or a PDF, publish it, copy it, move it to its own sheet. But you got it. It's ready to go. It's all set. This is what I want you to make. Practice it. And remember, we're using the data from our that we collected. We're using all that information to quantify the standard error, so that way we have legitimate error bars. This is cool stuff. All right, go to the Google Sheet, for part 8 and try it out.